Welcome. We are in the 7th module of this course, that is cost diagram and quick screening of process alternatives. In the previous module, we got cost diagrams is an effective means of putting or summarizing the cost, both operating as well as the capital cost of a particular flow sheet. In this, the cost is written directly on the flow sheet. The annualized capital cost of equipment is written inside the box indicating the equipment, and the processing cost is attached to the stream for which the processing like heating, cooling, etc. is carried out. We saw as what are the use of cost diagram. Cost diagrams are effective means of summarizing information. You can check the rules of thumb using cost diagram and find out the areas of optimization of process in the flow sheet. We saw an example of acetone manufacture through isopropyl alcohol dehydrogenation, and we found out that the two columns, distillation columns in the flow sheet were far from optimum operation based on the cost that was attributed to the column and the column auxiliaries, the reboiler and condenser, and then the cost of operation of reboiler and condenser. Okay, so the operating cost and capital cost. So that gave us an indication of the area in which we have to optimize the process. Similarly, we also saw how we can optimize the heat transfer in the process. For that, flow sheet is now on the screen. Okay, here you can see that the heat from the reactor effluent, the stream emerging out of the reactor, is recovered in the incoming stream through this FEHE, feed to effluent heat exchanger, and the feed to effluent heat exchanger is quite small as compared to the preheater and the furnace, which supply heat to the feed. Okay, that increases the cost of operation. So we recommended that based on the cost that was given, cost of the steam, cost of the fuel, and then the cost of the annualized capital cost of the furnace and preheater, that we have to increase the size of the feed to effluent heat exchanger so as to have better heat recovery and heat integration into the process that would bring down the operating cost. Next, we saw our standard case study of hydrodealkylation. What you see now on the screen is the general flow sheet, and then we saw the heat integrated flow sheet. Okay, but heat integrated flow sheet is rather complex because of several exchangers that are there. We saw that how the reactor effluent was giving up its heat to the feed. Okay, this is the recycle toluene, then the reboiler of toluene column, reboiler of stabilizer column, reboiler of benzene column. Then it was also giving heat to the fresh feed that is coming in, this hydrogen and toluene fresh feed, and finally whatever heat was remaining was removed through a condenser, and then the reactor effluent was flashed to bring down the temperature so as to have a phase split. Now if we have a if we have a cost diagram like this, then it is difficult to identify the areas of optimization. Therefore, somehow we have to simplify this particular cost diagram. Now how we can do that? In that, we introduced the concept of lumping of the cost. We decided that we shall lump the cost, and then what we did, we followed a 3-step strategy: allocation of the heat exchanger cost to the process stream, then lump the cost associated with the neighboring process operation, and allocation of the cost to 3 loops or 3 streams. One is the gas recycle loop, second is the liquid recycle loop, and third is the fresh feed. Okay, so these 3 are the cost components. Now each of the cost component has several sub-components. For example, gas recycle loop cost component has hydrogen and methane as the elements in it. Then the liquid recycle loop has toluene and diphenyl as elements in it, and the fresh feed has 3 elements in it: hydrogen, methane and toluene. Now next, we adopted the strategy of allocation of the heat exchangers that are there in the process to the streams. Now how we can do that? We use the thumb rule that heat exchanger the heat exchanger cost is proportional to the heat exchanger area, and the area is inversely proportional to the overall heat transfer coefficient. Overall heat transfer coefficient has contributions from both inside and outside film coefficients. So if any exchanger is exchanging heat between two streams, then we allocate the cost of the heat exchanger, the annualized capital cost of the heat exchanger, to the two streams in the inverse proportion of their film coefficient. Okay, that is what cost allocated to the stream is inversely proportional to the heat transfer coefficient. And then we identified 5 heat exchangers in the process that I just showed to you. Okay, the first heat exchanger that exchanges heat between the reactor effluent and the recycled toluene, then the toluene reboiler, then stabilizer reboiler, benzene reboiler, then the fresh feed and reactor effluent heat exchanger, and finally the cooling, the condenser. Okay, and based on this, now we have to allocate the cost that we did in the previous lecture. We wrote the cost, annualized capital cost of all these 5 exchangers: 63, 14, 14, 14, 41. These are $1,000. Okay, and then we wrote the streams that are treated in that particular exchanger. Like heat exchanger 1, the stream 1 is the feed, that is, but remember it is recycled toluene feed, and the second stream is reactor effluent, and the two coefficients were 0.69, 0.69 kilowatt per meter square per Kelvin, and therefore the total annualized cost of $63,000 is distributed equally. Same thing for the reboiler, toluene reboiler. Now in toluene reboiler, one side there is vapor effluent or gas phase effluent, and other side there is boiling liquid. So obviously the inside heat transfer coefficient is likely to be higher because it is boiling liquid than the outside heat transfer coefficient, which is a vapor phase stream. And then we distributed, we assumed that the inside heat transfer coefficient was 1.57 kilowatt per meter square per Kelvin, and the outside coefficient was 0.69, and then the $14,000 cost was distributed in the inverse proportion as 4,000 and 10,000 to a stream that is inside the reboiler stream and the reactor effluent stream, and so on and so forth. So what you have on screen now is the allocation of the heat exchanger cost to the streams that are treated in the cost. Now what we decided is that we shall now lump these costs in the neighboring operation. Okay, what are the operations in the process, major operations in the process? The first operation is feed and recycle heating. Then the next operation, that is the feed and recycle heating, is essentially feed to the reactor. Okay. Then the next stage was the reactor itself, where reaction takes place. Then the third operation was product cooling. Then the 3 columns that follow: stabilizer column, benzene column, and toluene column. And finally, after column, we have a gas recycle loop. Okay. Now here, obviously, we also have a liquid recycle loop, as you saw that recycled toluene heater was there. But toluene is a liquid element, and therefore recycling of toluene is not much cost intensive operation. Okay, you can use a simple pump which you can buy in few $1,000s, and then you can operate with it. So liquid recycle is not a cost intensive operation, so we do not consider it in this particular process. Let us see how we can develop a lumped cost diagram. That is today's exercise, development of lumped cost diagram. What we do now is that we draw boxes that correspond to the operations that I just mentioned. We have feed plus recycle heating. Then the reactor, then product cooling, now from product cooling we have the product as well as gas recycle purge streams emerging. The liquid is separated in 3 columns. stabilizer, benzene, okay. Now this is our lumped cost diagram where we have listed 7 major operations in the process and we have connected them as how in the proper order. Now let us gather the cost that is associated for each of these operations. Now reactor, if you go to the main flow sheet, we see that a reactor annualized cost of the reactor is $198,000. So that we attach now here $198,000. Okay. Now next, the feed and recycle heating. Let us go back to the flow sheet. We have here 2 heat exchangers that heat the feed, fresh as well as recycle heat, and then we also have a furnace that does the job. So now we lump all those costs, gather the elements that are associated with feed and recycle heating, and then we sum them together. Okay. Now what are the elements? First, the furnace $66,000 plus fuel for it $262. So we write here 66 plus 262 plus we had here one heat exchanger that heated the recycled toluene 63,000, but we have allocated the cost equally to the 2 streams. So 31.5 of that plus we had another exchanger here that heated the fresh feed $41,000 heat exchanger, annualized capital cost, and that cost we had distributed as $29,000 and $12,000 to reactor effluent and fresh feed side. So that cost we also add here plus 12. So together these make $371,000. Let us take product cooling. Product is being cooled in 5 exchangers and 1 special condenser. So these 5 exchangers plus condenser, we have already distributed the cost of the 5 exchangers that you have seen earlier. We just sum them together. Okay. So 31.5 of the cost of toluene recycle heat, then $10,000 cost for the 3 columns, reboiler column, plus $29,000 cost for fresh feed heating, and finally $43,000 for the condenser, that is cooling condenser, plus $22,000 for the condenser cost. So $43,000 is the cost of cooling water required for the condenser, $22,000 is the annualized capital cost of the condenser. So together these make out $155,000. Okay. Now let us see the gas compressor. Now gas compressor here, the annualized capital cost is $49,000 and $60,000 is the power that is required for it annually. Okay. So that here we write 49 plus 60, that is 109 is the cost of gas recycle compressor operation. And then the 3 columns, stabilizer column, benzene column and toluene column. Now the first, let us see the stabilizer column. Stabilizer column cost is $24,000 for the stabilizer plus $4,000 of the cost of operation of the reboiler. So that is $28,000. So 24 plus 4 is $28,000. Then benzene column. Benzene column has capital cost of $75,000 plus 4,000 of the reboiler plus 20,000 of the condenser, 54,000 for the cooling water for it, then another 14,000 for the subcooling condenser, and then cooling water for it $5,000. So that cost we add. So 75 plus 50 plus 24 plus 14 plus 5. So together this makes out 172. And then finally the Toluene column. Now Toluene column has $52,000 as the annual capital cost plus $12,000 cost of the condenser, cooling water for it is $8,000 and then $4,000 for the reboiler. So that cost we add together. So 52 plus 12 plus 8 plus 4. So this together makes out $76,000. So what we have now is a lumped cost diagram, that we have simplified a complicated flow sheet into a block diagram that lists the major operations in the particular flow sheet, and then we have lumped together, we have gathered together the total cost of each of these operations. The next stage is to allocate these cost of each operation to the streams that are involved in that operation. And I just mentioned that we have identified 3 streams in the process. First stream is the net fresh feed, NFF, net fresh feed, then another feed is gas recycle, and the third is liquid recycle. Okay? So that point we note. The cost elements are 3. First is net fresh feed. This includes gas feed plus liquid feed. Remember, gas feed means H2CH4 and liquid means toluene. Okay. Then next is the gas recycle, that is H2 and CH4, and finally the liquid recycle, that is toluene plus diphenyl. Oh sorry, I am sorry, diphenyl is not recycled in the loop, so only toluene. Okay. So what we will do is that whatever cost that we have lumped for a particular operation, we will allocate to the 3 streams that are involved in the operation, and these are our cost elements: net fresh feed, gas recycle, liquid recycle. Now what strategy we follow now to allocate these costs? As far as mass transfer operations are concerned, such as distillation or reaction, okay, we will allocate the cost to the 3 elements in proportion of the molar flow rates of these streams. Okay. And as far as the heat transfer operations are concerned, we shall allocate the cost in terms of the heat duty on the particular element that is involved in that operation. Now, if we have to do this, we have to first do the material and energy balance so as to find out the net distribution of the net molar flow rates and the heat duties. Okay. Now, what I am giving you now are the direct numbers, okay, but we have seen these numbers. It is a HDA process. We have done the material and energy balance previously. So, these numbers you can very easily calculate. You refer to the lectures in module 2, that is flow sheet synthesis, in which we have done all these material and energy balances. Okay. We also have a tutorial in this module in which we shall again see another variant of the HDA process, and we shall, in that tutorial we shall revise our material and energy balance calculations. For the time being, I am giving you the numbers and I request you to accept them, and if you have any difficulty in how to get these numbers, as I just said, you refer to module 2, and in the tutorial we are again going to work out these material energy balances in detail. Okay. So, now let us see the numbers. The reactor. Reactor receives stream in the form of gas recycle, liquid recycle, toluene feed and hydrogen feed. Now, these both are what? Fresh. Okay. Now, these calculations are for following conditions: production rate of benzene 265 mole per hour, composition of hydrogen in the purge stream or mole fraction of hydrogen in the purge stream as 0.4 and selectivity 0.98. Okay. So, conversion 75%. We have already seen the relation between conversion and selectivity. So, for a conversion per pass conversion of 75% of toluene, that is the limiting reactant, selectivity is 0.98. So, what numbers that the numbers that you are going to see now are for this particular set of operating conditions or the process parameters. Molar flow rate, mole per hour. Okay. Gas recycle is 3371 total moles. Okay. Liquid recycle is 91. Fresh toluene is 273. Fresh gas is 496. So, total 4231 moles per hour. So, the reactor treats total 4231 moles per hour. Now, the total cost of reactor, as we have seen in the lump cost diagram, is $198,000. We shall allocate that cost to the three elements, cost elements, in the proportion of their molar flow rates. So, what you see now is the numbers adjusted to nearest integer 3371 divided by 4231 into 198. This is allocated cost in $1,000 per year. $158 for gas recycle, then toluene 91 divided by 4231 into 198, that is $4,000. Then net fresh gas feed $36,000, and then total is 198. So, we have allocated the cost of $198,000 to the three streams in proportion of their molar flow rates. Okay. Now, let us see our heat or cooling load that we have. There are again three streams: gas recycle, liquid recycle and fresh feed. Gas recycle, all these numbers are in gigajoule per hour, 39.2 gigajoule per hour, liquid recycle 6.1, fresh feed 25.5. Similarly, reactor feed heating, gas recycle 53.3, liquid recycle 12.1, and fresh feed 49.6. Now, a question may arise in your mind as how we can allocate the cost of product cooling to the three streams that are there: gas recycle, liquid recycle, and fresh feed. Okay, because all the streams are coming, all the components are coming out together. Now, here we have used a logic that the product that is formed is from the reactants. Now, see the production of benzene. Okay, now you have benzene is produced from toluene. Okay, so toluene feed to the reactor is total 273 plus 91, that is 273 moles per hour fresh and 91 moles per hour recycle. Now, whatever is the heat that is released by cooling of toluene, by cooling of benzene, which is the product of toluene reacted, that heat is allocated to the net fresh feed and the recycle feed in the ratio of 3:1. Why? Because benzene is a product of toluene. Toluene is fed in two parts. First is fresh, another is recycle, and fresh is 273, recycle is 91. So, the net toluene feed is in the proportion 3:1, fresh and recycle. Therefore, whatever is the heat that is released from cooling of benzene, which is a product, is allocated to the two streams, recycle and the liquid recycle and fresh feed in the ratio 1:3, or the other way around, means if you take the gas recycle to fresh is 1:3 or fresh to recycle is 3:1. Okay. So, this is the logic that we will also follow for allocation of the cost of the columns. For example, the stabilizer column is essentially for removal of the dissolved gas in the system. So, the stabilizer column is treating all three elements. The stabilizer column is treating a liquid stream that contains both benzene, contains all three components: benzene, toluene and diphenyl. Now, how do you allocate the cost of that stabilizer column to the fresh feed and recycle feed? Again, that is in terms of, is in the ratio 3:1, because benzene and diphenyl are the products. However, these are being formed from toluene, which is fed in the ratio 3:1, okay, fresh and recycle. Therefore, stabilizer column cost will be allocated in proportion 3:1 to the two cost elements, and the benzene will also be allocated in the proportion 3:1 to the two cost elements, net fresh feed and recycle stream. As far as the toluene column is concerned, now toluene column is treating two elements. Okay, it is treating one stream, that is the liquid recycle stream containing two elements, that is diphenyl and toluene. But that cost we will allocate totally to the liquid recycle stream, because there is no net fresh feed there, and whatever is the product is either taken out as the fuel product, the diphenyl, or the toluene goes back to the reactor. So, the toluene column cost will be allocated totally to the liquid recycle stream. So, this is the logic that we are going to follow. So, please keep this in mind. Okay, I am going to repeat this in the tutorial. Okay, the total product cooling heat load is 70.8 gigajoules per hour, and total reactor feed heat load is 115 gigajoules per hour. Okay, and now we allocate the cost. The total cost of product cooling was, as we found in the lumped cost diagram. Here it was product cooling was 155 and feed and reactor heating was 371. So, that cost we are now going to distribute. Okay, so, this is 355 total, product cooling 155,000. So, 39.2 divided by 70.8 into 155, this comes out to be 86. 6.1 divided by 70.8 into 155, that may come out to be 13, and 25.5 divided by 70.8 into 155, that comes out to be 56. Now, similar distribution here of total cost of $371,000 will be 172, 39 and 160. Okay. And now we shall prepare what we term as the cost allocation diagram. Now, cost allocation diagram has several other components that we will see now. Okay. Components of cost allocation diagram are first the feed heating or the fresh feed heating, net fresh feed heating. Second will be the reactor. Third will be the product cooling. Then fourth will be the stabilizer column. Now, flash drum is a simple equipment. It is not so cost intensive, so that we do not include in this our analysis. Okay. Then fifth is benzene column. Then toluene column. Seven, the toluene recycle heating. And finally, the two components that are associated with gas recycle stream. First, the gas recycle compression, and the gas recycle heating. So, our cost allocation diagram will have these 9 components. In addition to these, in order to assess process alternatives, we also write the losses that occur in the system on this cost diagram. Now, what are these losses? The first loss is the loss of selectivity. Not all of the toluene gets converted to the desired product. So, some toluene is lost as diphenyl. So, that we put as the loss. So, the total cost of toluene that is lost to diphenyl, that will be put also on the system, okay, also on that particular diagram. Then the second loss is that of the hydrogen. Okay. Some hydrogen leaves in the purge gas. Okay. So, that loss we will write also on the cost diagram. Now, are we going to throw off these streams? Are we going to throw off diphenyl and also going to throw off the purge gas? No. Diphenyl can be used as a fuel in the process. So, you mix it with the diesel or oil that is being put in the furnace. Okay, so, that could be put to some use. So, we can recover some cost from this waste product. So, that cost we will also put, the cost of diphenyl as fuel also we shall put on the cost diagram. Secondly, the purge gas, it contains 2 combustible gases, hydrogen and methane. Okay, so, those also can be used in some gas fired engines in the process or similar things. So, that cost, the cost of fuel cost of this the purge gas we will also put on the cost diagram. Now, there is one more loss that we have not mentioned, that is the loss of benzene and toluene through the purge gas. Purge gas emerges from the flash drum where the phase split takes place. Now, if the phase split is not perfect, which is always the case because both benzene and toluene have finite vapor pressure, there will always be some loss of benzene and toluene through the purge gases as in the form of vapor. So, that loss we will also put on the cost diagram. So, we will get an overall view of the cost that are involved in the process of hydrodealkylation. Now, let us draw that cost diagram. Now, each cost component and 3 cost elements gas recycle, net fresh feed, liquid recycle. Then feed heating. Gas recycle, net fresh feed, liquid recycle. Okay. Then product cooling. Stabilizer, the 3 columns. Okay, and now we connect these elements. And now we have to write the loss. The total toluene loss is 13 mole per hour, 8 moles as in the form of diphenyl, okay, and 5 moles in the vapor. Okay. So the total loss of toluene is $1,691,000. Total loss of hydrogen is $2,160,000, out of which diphenyl comes out from the toluene column, and that is used in the process as fuel, and that cost is $200,000. And purge gas is also used as is also used as fuel, so that cost is $685,000. And the loss of benzene plus toluene in the form of vapor, which is 5 moles per hour, is together $600,000 annually. Okay. And now what we do is that we simply pick up the cost related to a particular operation and write inside the box. We start with the simple gas compression. Gas compression, as you will see in the flow sheet, is the total cost is 109, because $49,000 for the compressor, $60,000 for the power. So that we write 109 here there is no net fresh feed, neither liquid recycle. Okay. Now, gas recycle heating. Gas recycle heating, if you go to the heating and cooling loads, you will find the gas recycle heating is $172,000 here. So that we put here. The reactor is $198,000, but we have to now, as I said, we have to distribute in terms of the molar component, the molar flow rates. Okay. So that 158, 4 and 36 for gas recycle, liquid recycle and fresh feed. So that we write here 158, 36 and 4. Similarly, product cooling total was 155, that we distributed 86, 56 and 13 among the 3 streams. Now, stabilizer column, the total cost in the lumped cost diagram was $28,000, but I just mentioned that we have to distribute to net fresh feed and liquid recycle in the ratio 3:1. So, 28 distributed to net fresh feed and recycle is 21 and 7. Similarly, $172,000 of benzene again distributed in the ratio 3:1. So, there is no gas recycle in benzene column, net fresh feed 129, liquid recycle 43. Okay. Then toluene column is the total cost that we saw in lump cost diagram was $76,000. Entire cost is allocated to liquid recycle. Toluene recycle heating. Now, this we have already found as $39,000. Toluene recycle, liquid recycle heating. Okay. So that we put here, liquid recycle 39. There is no gas recycle, liquid recycle. Okay. And now finally the fresh feed heating. Okay. The fresh feed heating we have already seen here as $160,000 reactor, fresh feed heating. Okay. So that 160. Sorry. So this completes our cost allocation diagram. What we have done now is that we have identified the cost elements of the process, we have identified the streams that are involved, and then accordingly we have allocated the cost to these. The cost elements: net fresh feed, gas recycle and liquid recycle. Then we identified the components of the cost allocation diagram, total 9 components. 9 components and 3 elements, we have made a cost allocation diagram out of it. Now, this cost allocation diagram is a very handy tool of assessing the process alternatives. Now, what is the process alternatives that we can see? The first process alternative is to recycle diphenyl. Okay. Diphenyl is a reversible byproduct. So, you can see there is a tremendous loss of toluene in the form of diphenyl. If you see the annual loss, it is over $1 million. So, if we have to cut down that cost, okay, then we have to recycle diphenyl to extinction, which means that diphenyl being a reversible byproduct, it will get built up in the process, but at steady state the total amount of diphenyl will remain same. So, we will cut down the loss of toluene in the form of diphenyl, but the penalty that we pay for it is oversizing of the equipment in the process, so as to accommodate the increased flow of diphenyl. That is one process alternative. Second process alternative is to alter the hydrogen to aromatics ratio at the reactor inlet, the molar ratio of hydrogen to toluene. Now, this molar ratio that we have considered is 5:1. Okay, so there are 4 moles excess. Suppose we reduce it to let us say 2:1 or 1:1, then what happens? Okay, what are the penalties that we pay? So, all of these process alternatives, okay, we can assess in term using this cost allocation diagram. That is the exercise in the next lecture, but I will just for your convenience I will list the process alternatives that we are going to assess. Assessment of process alternatives with cost allocation diagram. First, recycle of reversible byproduct diphenyl to extinction. Second, change of H2 to aromatics molar ratio at reactor inlet. Third alternative that we can think of is purification of purge stream, which means at the outlet of the flash drum we will put a membrane module that will selectively filter hydrogen from methane, so that we can purge only methane and recycle almost all hydrogen. So let us assess these three process alternatives using the cost allocation diagram that we have developed in the next lecture.